right, Zach. We see a lot of each other every now and then. Never, had a sleepover or anything.
Basically did. Almost. The only thing that would have topped it would have been bunk beds.
Yeah, well, I wasn't I think, were those originally bunk beds that were just split apart?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Could have been.
Yeah. Maybe just twin beds. Yeah. So recently, Zach and I and the other elders and wives, although my wife was in Arkansas at a close friend's funeral, at a retreat for the elders. It was a good time. The younger elders and Jill was like, well, Aaron's our age. I was like, yeah, but Tim's not. The younger elders were
banished
to yeah.
I don't know what you would call it, but we were on by ourselves in the close quarters.
Yeah. We had one bathroom between us. So I took one for the team. I would just sleep in late, let everyone get their showers and stuff in, and then go.
It's great. Pastor Joe was always very worried about, are you going to make it to the first session? It's great. He wasn't really worried, but it's great.
I would show up maybe like 15 minutes early, and he'd be like, okay, Michael. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here.
It's great.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, the bathroom to bedroom ratio. That's always a tough thing when you're like on a, Yeah. There was a big pond out in back. Worst came to worst,
that was good. We ate at that place. I was not impressed with that place. Were you impressed?
Yeah, I've been to Tupelo Honey before, not that one, a different one. It was really good. Yeah. That one was overwhelming. Second experience,
Yeah, I
didn't realize how breakfast heavy it was.
Well, and I tried to get steak and eggs, as I think Danny did too.
This was the best.
And then Sarah ordered some type of flank steak. So they only had one type of steak on the menu, flank steak, but it showed up in like 2 or 3 of their different dishes. She comes back 5-6 minutes after we ordered, 7 minutes after we ordered. We are out of flank steak. I'm like, how can you be out of flank steak?
We just ran out of steak 10 minutes ago. That was great.
So then I ordered what you had, which was the blackened mahi, and it was the mahi is known for like just a very light, no fishy taste to it, just this flaky. And it wasn't.
And Michael actually sent it back. He caused a scene.
I should have not eaten it. I was like, I'm just going to power through this because I don't want to eat it. But I have this like clean my plate mentality, which I should get rid of. So I was like, I powered through it, and then I enjoyed my sides. And that night, I was like, I should not have. My stomach was a little bit upset from powering through that fish. But yeah,
man, out of steak is great. It was like, oh man, and then people are scrambling to order. It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's good.
Saw some Christmas lights. Night.
from outside the fence. Yeah.
So for those who are local to Charleston, imagine all of the James Island County Park lights in one big arena that you could just walk around. That's basically what this was.
Other places do this too. I did not know this, but my brother, he lives in Charlotte. He was going like 20 minutes north of Charlotte to like their like motor speedway where they do like NASCAR and stuff, and they did the same thing. They like put it there. It's like, that's a good idea. You just got a big open, it's kind of contained,
so you
can ticket it. Yeah.
And it seemed like they did have like a little train going around a track or something too. So not as good as going through the woods and almost hitting people.
We did the Festival of Lights, and it is different. With it's like that they keep separation of church and state. Just keep the train. Because I always felt like there's always. I'm surprised there wasn't more injuries with the train.
That was my favorite thing to walk, was the path.
Yeah, to walk that path.
That's now cordoned off.
You can't,
because it had like the little angel light that would come out. And it had like a snake. It had a rabbit that was jumping around back and forth. And it's like, you're only going to see this very fast on a train, because the train goes by too fast for you to enjoy it, and you can't walk there now. So
you went before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Would you recommend this? Was that the move, like as far as crowds and stuff?
It's hard to know what your crowd was, but ours was still crowded. Maybe less crowded than yours, and so maybe that's still the move. But it's like these people keep moving here from like Memphis and Maine and stuff. And it's like, oh my goodness,
dude! It's like we went. It's probably I don't know. We went the Friday after Thanksgiving. In my mind, that would be a busy time. on their little calendar, it was like a yellow, I don't know if did you look at the calendar?
Oh, no.
So they pre-select days based on history as yellow, green, red.
Yeah.
If you go on a red day, which is basically every weekend after, not the Friday after Thanksgiving, but the week after.
It's
weekend,
basically like we're going to be busy.
It's going to be busy, and tickets are like more expensive on the red days.
Oh, wow. We have a annual pass, so it gets scanned, and so
the elites, they don't know how the peasants. And then the yellow or moderate, it's like a mid-price, which is basically, I don't know, like there's certain days, and then the green is like weekdays, especially early in December, and it's like $10 cheap. It's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
And so it was a yellow day, so I was like, if this is a yellow day, I don't want to see what a red day is.
Yeah.
And like we got there like right when the park opened. It was like as good as you could time it, but man, it's like crowded. You're waiting forever to get on the train. It's just like, it's not, I've only lived here for like 13 years or something, but 10 years ago, man, not like this at all.
Yeah.
Even when it was like busy, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Man, not like it used to be, you know?
You thinking about it?
Therefore, I am, I think. Oh man, yeah, good. You're always good at the segues. Connecting.
Every time you say Segway, I always think of that song, "Chimpanzee Riding on a Segway." You know the song?
I don't know this
Chimpanzee Riding on
song.
a
I want to know the
All right.
song.
Yeah, you should look it up and listen to it.
Man,
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever. I've never been on a Segway. I don't think.
I've not been on a Segway either.
I wonder how hard it is to.
If you're at a golf course near a cliff, I hear it can be pretty dangerous. Yeah,
be careful. Be careful out there. PSA. Well, hope you're excited for some philosophy.
Yeah, I am.
Because we're gonna tackle it hard. This will be good. I'm sure I'll learn a lot as well.
Hopefully.
It's like we're talking a little bit about Descartes. Like everyone knows Descartes.
Yeah,
But I could probably exhaust what I know about him in like a 2-minute span. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can
You
hit the
don't ever
beats.
want him standing in front of a beast of burden because you don't want Descartes before the horse.
Oh, see, this is why you come to this podcast for puns like that. Don't say we never did nothing for you. Let's go ahead and take it to the next level.
Let's fire up that twangy music.
From the hearts of the Low Country in South Carolina.
It's the Take Two podcast, where we take theology to the next level.
Well, Michael, we should probably just start right with Descartes. Just get into it, right?
Right. Well, so I was thinking about this because we were talking about other arguments for the existence of God.
Okay, yeah.
And I was thinking about this argument that Descartes puts forth. René Descartes. You might know him from math,
I feel like
the
that's tough.
Cartesian plane.
Yeah.
When you did X, Y.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
Yeah, he's a mathematician, philosopher. Mm-hmm. And this will be good. Maybe we can get into it later. Because I think a lot of times he's, at least from my perspective, not knowing a lot about philosophy, he's always cast as like, not an enemy of Christianity. Like I think he's a Christian, but it's like, to me, I think some people, maybe it's circles I run in sometimes, it like sets the stage for this basis that is not, I don't know. I could see you're not.
I'm interested because I haven't heard this. Yeah. I'm interested to hear
where
what
I
you
feel
said.
like it's like almost divorcing theology. It's like you're not using theology to inform, because you can doubt all the. I don't know. Anyway,
okay.
good things to talk about.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Is
That would
everything
be
a
good.
deception or
Yeah.
I don't? These are things
Right,
you hear.
right.
But
no,
anyway.
that's good. That is good to raise those questions, and we'll address those
great.
second episode.
Oh, love it. Teaser.
So there's so much here.
Yeah.
And maybe these will be 3 short episodes, which is probably better than one super
That's
long
a very
episode.
good point.
But I thought, before Descartes could even make sense, because we could just launch right into it. I think the background of how we get to Descartes and what he's saying would be good. So if you've ever taken a philosophy class, maybe you took Philosophy 101 or something, if you've ever studied it, you probably talked about Thales of Miletus, the very first kind of recognized philosopher. These are the so-called he's one of the so-called pre-Socratic philosophers. So you have these, the starting of philosophy in the Greek city-states, maybe some that are over like in present-day Turkey. That's one of our favorite phrases.
Boom.
And then kind of the big turning point is Socrates. His student was Plato. Socrates didn't write anything down.
Man.
So everything we know about Socrates, we know because Plato wrote it down. So we learn about Socrates through Plato. So you kind of have to, kind of think through: is this Plato's talking here through what he's writing? Is this Socrates talking through what he's writing here? And then
because Plato's probably, I haven't read Plato or Socrates really that much.
Yeah.
Plato's probably not saying everything Socrates says is the best.
No,
because he's like refining and taking different.
Yeah, Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle are all different, but there's there's a chain. There's those Socrates, his student was Plato, his student was Aristotle, and then his student was Alexander the Great. So
yeah, that's true. I always forget this. Yeah, that's right. That's the time period. That's good.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll get my throat cleared in just a second.
Hey, can we clear the throat into the mic a little bit more?
So Aristotle, huge impact on philosophy. Some people would say Plato's impact was bigger. So, one person famously said that all philosophy is a footnote to Plato, because Plato did help establish these categories of philosophy, but he kind of thought about things different than Aristotle. If you've ever looked at a painting, it's called the School of Athens. And it's famously, it's got all these different philosophers there. And in the center is Plato and Aristotle. And Plato is pointing up with his hand, and Aristotle's pointing down. And if you know anything about Platonic ideals, Platonic figures, I'm probably losing, Platonic forms, there we go. It's this idea that, we have a physical microphone here, but there's a form of a microphone that exists abstractly, and it's the perfect of microphone. And there's this microphone instantiates the universal of microphone, and this chair instantiates the universalness of chair. And Aristotle said that's crazy. We don't know. We learn, instead of the forms being defined from above, they're defined from the particulars. So we interact with a lot of chairs. We learn what it means to be a chair. And then we know what we mean to say chair, even though not all chairs are the same. Even these two chairs that are kind of sold in a set should be, they're different. There are differences between these.
Right.
But they still instantiate chairness. So Aristotle would be called an empiricist, because he would say you have to learn from below to kind of get these ideas of these ideals. So the universals are abstracted from particular things. Aristotle today would be known as both a scientist and a philosopher, because he talked about physics and metaphysics. So he has a book called Physics. He has a book called Metaphysics.
Not creative with his names, but no, just kidding. Yeah, that's good.
And he made some biological observations.
Yeah.
He kind of starts this idea of taxonomies, which we don't keep his taxonomies, but this idea of kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, that type of thing. That way of thinking about it was kind of started with Aristotle. And he also had some physics there. So a quote about him: Russell was critical of some Aristotelian categories, yet he still admitted Aristotle's influence is so vast that it would be difficult to exaggerate it. You could try to exaggerate how big his influence was. All right. So why are we talking about Aristotle so much? So Aristotle defined all these different categories, helped redefine them from what Plato started. Epistemology, how we know what we know. Metaphysics, what is really real. And I'm skipping over some of these subcategories. Logic, so he invented formal logic as a discipline. The syllogism, he helped build that. Ethics, eudaimonia was one of those virtue ethics. Politics, although Socrates definitely talked about politics, Aristotle did as well. And then also natural philosophy, like classification of animals, observation of biology, early theories of motion, causation, and cosmology. So I've been talking a lot. So hope keeping track of everything so far.
Nailing it. It's my takeaway. Aristotle, big deal. Did a lot of things.
Yeah.
Is important. Foundational.
Yes. And really, you could say that about Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. But
who's your favorite? You got a fave?
Aristotle, clearly.
Okay. You're not like let's bring back Plato. Had everything right.
Yeah. Well, Socrates thought, I'm not going to write anything down because you won't understand. Like I will say A, you will get A prime, and something will be lost. So I won't write anything down. Socrates thought I can really only get you to understand what I'm thinking by asking you a whole bunch of questions
Socratic
back and forth.
method.
And so the Socratic method was there.
Okay, yeah.
Plato was really famous for these Platonic forms, and he talked about he's also famous for this cave analogy where
you always hear the cave.
Yeah. And so Aristotle, I think, really starts to give us practical philosophy that we can use and that makes sense. So Aristotle dies. You probably knew
died?
that. Yeah, he did die. And eventually, as classical Greece, Alexander the Great, the four kingdoms are separated. The kingdom is separated in four. Rome takes over. His writings are kind of lost. They are rediscovered. They're kind of preserved through Byzantium, and it gets down to some of the Arabic areas. And so we hit some translators. Avencia and Averroes are there, and so there's this kind of resurgence of Aristotelian philosophy in your Muslim countries at that time, but he gets rediscovered in the West, in Europe around 1100s.
Okay.
And so there's these major translations of his works into Spanish, into Latin. And so those translations spread rapidly through Europe's universities, Paris, Oxford, Cologne, Bologna. And so I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. It looks like bologna, maybe like the meat. So sorry if I'm mispronouncing that word.
All of Italy is so mad.
Yeah. So there's this huge adoption of Aristotle. So much so that you could write and you would just say the philosopher. And that like you can pick up St. Thomas Aquinas's Summa or his De Malo on evil, and he will just say the philosopher says this. The philosopher says this. There's other books that I read when I took medieval philosophy where they just call him the philosopher. Like that is his status. And he really forms a backbone of scholasticism and shapes basically all of our Western intellectual life. And so we could agree with Bertrand Russell. It's hard to overstate his influence on what we have today in every area of thought: metaphysics, ethics, logic, theology. All right. So that's a lot of history because we're leading up to a crisis, because what happened, we're going to get to a point where we discover Aristotle's not right on the physics.
Oh, yeah. That's a big deal.
His physics is not right. And so just going through some of this that's repeated. We'll get down to internal strain, signs of trouble before the collapse. So around the 1300s, we get this William of Ockham. You may have heard of Occam's razor before. He's the guy that came up with it. But he starts to think critically about what Aristotle has to say. He rejects Aristotle's way of dealing with real universals. We don't have to get into all this, but he denies Aristotle's ideas of causation. He emphasizes God's absolute freedom, where Aristotelian logic would say there's some cosmological necessity. So all I'm saying is start to see some cracks here in the scholastic mindset.
And this is before everything got upended. I think of the Enlightenment and everything's changing, but that's happened well before this.
This is around 200 years before that. So 1300 to 1500. There was this in the first 150 years, this full-on adoption of Aristotle as he began to spread. And then people start to go, oh, well, does that really make sense? Well, this is what he said, but what about this? So you can see how that might happen. The real big thing happens 1500 to 1650. Copernicus in 1543 proposes heliocentrism.
The nerve.
Come on. If you don't, that just breaks down into sun-centered. So he had the nerve, like you said, to say that the sun is at the center of our solar system, and that us and all the other planets revolve around the sun. Received a lot of heat for this, but it became kind of the basis for scientific revolution. And we see that this is probably the biggest scientific revolution we've had that's ever been documented. The Einsteinian revolution from Newtonian physics, probably the second. Kepler. So when he does this, and people adopt it, Aristotle's geocentric cosmos collapses.
Yeah, that's a pretty big paradigm.
Yep. Kepler comes along. He takes a lot of these observations, maps them, realizes that the planets are not traveling in perfect circles. It's actually ellipses.
Dude, Aristotle.
Close to perfect circles.
Yeah.
But now Aristotle's perfect circles are gone.
Man.
Galileo does experiments on motion. You might think a heavier body falls faster to the earth. It's kind of common
intuitive.
sense.
Yeah.
But it's not true. As long as there's no appreciable difference in air resistance, a heavy body and a light body, they fall together. Galileo does experiments showing differences in inertia. Mathematics replaces qualitative nature. So this idea of like a rock falls because it wants to be, that its nature is to be towards the center. So all of these things happen, and people begin to go, this Aristotle didn't know what he's talking about.
Seriously, what's going on?
And so his physics gets rejected.
Yeah.
And the baby goes out with the bathwater. His metaphysics gets rejected.
Yeah, it's like we're starting all over. Like, this was our guy. This was our rock.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know anything about physics. Like, can we even, it makes sense when you think about Descartes.
Yeah.
No one knows. If you know anything about Descartes, I think therefore, for all you know, it kind of, that's like, why do we have to, know, what's getting at the basics or whatever?
So there's like this crisis of how do we know what do we know? Do we just accept it on authority? Because that's what we were doing. We read this guy who spoke authoritatively named Aristotle. We called him the philosopher. We trusted him, and we found out that he was false, at least in his physics. So how do we know what we know? And so we really get this panic from like 1600 to 1650, and this schism starts to form in the universities about how we know what we know. So the empiricist response is we're going to start over with our senses.
Ooh, okay. Seems like a good place to start. If you can experience it, it's got to be true.
Right,
if you can taste, feel, smell, or touch it, what could go wrong?
That's right. So, they're rejecting scholasticism. Nature must be interrogated through experiments, not syllogisms. Advocates inductive reasoning, systematic observation. Oddly enough, these are the same things Aristotle said. Aristotle is a form of empiricist.
Yeah.
He's the one who said this is how many teeth a human has and never took time to count them. Like, why would you go?
Yeah.
He would say things, but then not follow his own.
I see. Yeah.
So the underlying claim of the empiricist is that knowledge begins with experience. So we're going to trust our observations, not dusty books, not these.
Honestly, sounds a lot like 2025.
Yeah. We probably
anti-authority. My experience rules, but anyway, it might be a
for
little
the most
different,
part. They tend to win the day. So another group are the idealists, and they say we start over with reason.
Okay.
So empiricism, they're worried about empiricism because the senses are unreliable, and so there were a lot of these experiments they showed where you could put one hand in a bucket of relatively cold water, one hand in a bucket of relatively warm water, let them sit there and kind of acclimate. Then you could put them both into the same bucket, same water, so you knew it was the same temperature, and it felt like there's two different temperatures.
Totally.
Or like you put a fish and pole through the water, and it looks like it's split.
Yep.
So all of these optical illusions,
tricks,
they're like you can't trust your senses. Galileo just proved that you can't just trust your senses. So, what we see, we can't really get to what we see. So we need to start with certain truths. So did you take geometry in school?
I did. Did not like it.
You didn't like it?
The proofs. Just draw a square. Fine. I did not like the proofs.
Yeah. So you would, the idea of geometry is that you agree to certain basically undeniable axioms, and then you build up from there. And so that's what the idealists want to do. Like, let's just rationalize what are these axioms that we can know for sure.
Yeah, good starting point.
And then we'll reason up from there. And then once we know that, then we can kind of maybe make sense of what our world is around us.
Yeah, so can you give a good example of one problem or one thing each approach looks at it differently?
Yeah, that is a good question. Maybe even, as simple as I don't know why trees always get invoked in philosophy, but they seem like they do. But like, how do you know what a tree is?
Yeah.
So empiricists would say you go out there, you measure it, you define it. You may make definitions of it. Where a idealist might try to reason from certain facts about the world, about life and stuff, and then define what a tree is. That might be different approaches. That might be more simple. There's these big words in philosophy, a posteriori or a priori, which is, are we going to come to a conclusion after we've interrogated facts?
Yeah.
Or come to conclusions before we've interrogated the facts? So the idealists are a priori because they want to like come to these conclusions before they enter it. So big names in the empiricism, John Locke.
Yeah.
Berkeley, I think his name starts with, I think it may be George Berkeley, but I don't have his last name here. So maybe we can look that up. And then Hume is also a big name in this.
Yeah.
So, and then for the empiricist, we have our big names are, I just had them here, Descartes, Spinoza.
Okay, yeah.
And it seems like there was one more, Leibniz.
Sweet.
Yeah. So they're going to claim that, you got to, obviously, you can't just start with what you see. So that is kind of the where we're going to stop for this session.
So painting this colliding of two different viewpoints that are at odds with each other.
Yeah. Hopefully you come away with that. Eventually Kant. So if you've decided Kant is going to try to merge the two together, and he's going to say it doesn't really matter if we can't get to, because one side, the idealist is going to say you can't really know the real world, so empiricist, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And the empiricist is going to say you never get to the real world just from your idealism. Yeah. So Kant is going to say it doesn't matter if we can't really know the real world. What we experience becomes the real world for us, even though it may not be the actual world.
It's like perception is reality, essentially. Okay,
Exactly. So then you have all these. You have Kant, then Hegel, then Marx, and all the people. From there.
Little history lesson. I like it.
Yeah.
Getting to teaser for next week.
Next week we'll talk about how this divide is here, and then why Descartes does what he does to get to I think therefore I am. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I love it. Philosophy, episode 1 of 3. That's our take. Thanks for listening to Take 2. Find us wherever you find podcasts and on YouTube for those who want to watch our videocast.